This is the AM show. My name is Benjamin Akakpo. Welcome back. Now, later today, JoyNews will hold a national dialogue on illegal mining. The dialogue, titled Poison for Gold, will take place at the Labadi Beach Hotel right here in Accra. Speakers at the event will seek to foster a comprehensive understanding of the challenges posed by that monster, illegal mining, and to explore viable solutions to mitigate its impact on our environment. Ahead of that, we'll be hearing from my colleagues Evans Mensah and Erastus Asaridonko right here on the AM show. Gentlemen, a very good morning to you. I wish I had nicknames to mention to, everybody watching. I'm just joking. Evans, Erastus, good morning.
Good morning, Ben.
All right. Evans, I see you in there. Why is it that when I mentioned nicknames, you got a bit jittery? Should I know anything that I should put out, or maybe hold my horses for later?
This is where I challenge you to mention that nickname. Let's see if you have one.
You don't want to do that because I can go all the way back to St. Thomas Aquinas and do some digging. You don't want me to do that.
Oh yeah, if you can try.
All right. Erastus, did you have a nickname back in school?
Not for your consumption at the moment.
All right, that was just on a lighter note to start off the conversation. But there's a serious issue at hand. Illegal mining, poison for gold. And Erastus, you've done this for what, some 9 years plus. Just give us a hint of where we are when it comes to illegal mining and some of those crucial matters you'll be bringing to bear today as we have that confab at the Labadi Beach Hotel. Erastus.
Well, let me say that we've been doing this as a team for a very long time. We still have some recalcitrant people, still doing what they do. As we speak, though we hear the mantra or the narrative that government has cordoned off all forest reserves, that is not accurate. In fact, as we speak, when you go to Sairano, between Debiso in the Seshi area and Sairano, the Kokosia Forest Reserve, as we speak at the moment, illegal miners have taken over. And not even the Forestry Commission in that area can stop them. As we speak, in Watreso, in Amansie, illegal miners have taken over that side of their Pamprama Forest Reserve. They are still mining it as we speak. When you take to the forest along the Ankobra, illegal miners are there as we speak. When you go to the Ofin, in various sections of it, in fact, just yesterday, I wish I could send you the videos. The community called me through their spokesperson. They sent me videos. They claim that traditional authorities in Dungbao have allowed fresh champagne machines to sit on the offing in the railway area section of Dungbao.
Wow.
And they sent, I could count not less than 15 of these machines that have been allowed. We have police officials in that area. We have the security agencies in that area. The place is very close to a public area. And they are sitting on the Ofin River and they are poisoning it for gold as we speak. So when you put all this together, and it will sadden you, it will almost break you that you need to stop. But we can't stop. This is where we live. This is our country. This is our environment. This is our very existence. And that is why this dialogue is very necessary and timely. Let's get to ask the duty bearers the right question. Let's get to ask them, why are we still having all these and polluted major rivers when the president himself has put his presidency on the line on this?
Evans, you've also been in the thick of things, in the newsroom as far as this is concerned. And the ravages of illegal mining. I was just looking at something highlighted by Arosha Ghana in respect of community mining in Elembele, the launch of that. That is something else that I'll reserve for Erastus later. But we've seen the reports come in, the high concentrations of lead, arsenic, mercury, among others, in our water bodies and everything going on. How crucial is this conversation that we're having today?
It is absolutely crucial. I mean, just turn and look at the video wall behind you. And that, for me, is the summary of why this conversation is crucial. Coincidentally, as we speak, the world is meeting at COP28 in Dubai, talking about how to save the environment, talking about climate change and making sure the governments can implement their own commitments to saving the climate. And Ghana is at the forefront of this conversation. I remember when I was in COP26, I believe, in Egypt, you could see how
that was actually COP27. 26 was Glasgow.
27. Yes, COP27. That's correct. COP27. That was last year. You're right. I mean, you could see how Ghana was seen as one of the leaders on the continent when it comes to climate change and the pushing the agenda towards it. And so the president was, for example, a key, member of the co-chair of a very important global panel. You have the Land and Natural Resources Minister also taking the lead together with John Kerry of the US on another panel. So that was a very important sign that the world believed that Ghana can be a leader in this field in the continent. And for us at JoyNews, that sort of international recognition must be reflected in how we handle and deal with our environment locally. The biggest threat to this country right now is illegal mining. That is the biggest threat, because this is illegal mining, Galamsey, is a weapon of mass destruction. I have said many times that what we are witnessing, what you see on your screens, is environmental terrorism. And when you categorize it at that, it just galvanizes action. But we haven't seen action that has led to sustainable solutions to the problem that we have, which you see on your screens there. And that is why this conversation is important. And that is why, for me, the framing of this conversation this evening at 4 p.m. at the Labadi Beach Hotel at the Manya Hall is about exploring radical solutions to a national crisis. We have seen the governments over the period try many forms of interventions to try and dealing with this. All of them have tried to use force, sending in soldiers to burn excavators. We've seen this government actually tighten the laws a bit to try and make it more punitive, throw people in jail for longer. For some reason, it's still not stopping the destruction, as Erastus has eloquently illustrated. So what do we need to do for this to happen? One is political commitment must be there. We must, for the guys who are destroying the environment, they are not stopping. They have the commitment to do what they're doing, because the incentive is money. We must have the incentive. What is our incentive? Our incentive is to save lives. And there's nothing more compelling than a commitment to save lives. And that is why today we need to have that conversation. And I'm happy that everybody who matter in this conversation will be there this evening. The minister himself, although he's in the COP28 in Dubai, is going to join us virtually. And so that is a good thing. At least he is submitting himself to this. And that is a good thing to have him join us. He hasn't shied away from participating. He will participate. And for me, that is a good thing, because he can then give us, first of all, what is the status? Where are we in terms of the fight against illegal mining? Secondly, what are the challenges, if any? Have we achieved success in some areas? What are these?
Right.
And then clearly lay out the path for us in terms of what he's doing to put in place a more sustainable solution to this particular problem. We have the lands, we have the natural, we have the Minerals Commission also participating in person. The CEO will be there, who can then, of course, take the questions that will come from the panelists, but from also the audience there. And so we expect this to be a very comprehensive conversation. Now, the thing, though, to note, Benjamin, we don't want this to be another talk show. So we're going, at the end of this conversation, have a communique that will be read out at the event, but then finalized and will be handed over to the duty bearers, the Minerals Commission, to the to the land and natural resources, the EPA, etc., who will all be represented, will be handed to them together with the Rasmus's own documentary, and then we'll do the follow-ups. And we are delighted. I must really applaud WaterAid Ghana. WaterAid Ghana has come in and partnered us for this, but also the Chamber of Mines will also need to applaud them, because the two entities have come together to partner. Without them, we can do this. And that's why I'm really grateful that he decided to partner us for this. So we're going to have a very comprehensive conversation at the end of the day today.
You know, interestingly, as I go back to Erastus, we would see, if you take a look at the Ghanaian Times newspaper today, at COP28 in Dubai, President Wu's world leaders to support climate change. The last time I had an interaction with the president on these matters, he was president, I don't know whether he still is, of the Climate Vulnerable Forum. And if you look at the disconnect between what we go to these conferences and say and what the reality is here, it becomes problematic. The Ghana Water Company Limited has told us that it's becoming more and more difficult to actually treat the water from the different sources that they have to treat so that we get water to consume. I was at the Habitat Fair the last time. It was interesting interacting with Stanley Mate when it comes to even heavy metals and their content in our water. But I'll give each one of you final comments on this. For you, Erastus, I want to find out, from what you've seen on the back of community mining, with the latest in the offing on the 8th day of this month in Elembele, what is your take on that as well? Our approach as a country, and whether we're getting it right from that angle, or whether it's just to suit political elements?
Well, so when community mining started, I applauded it. It's a fantastic concept. If done well, it could, soak a lot of the youth who are trying to go into mining and prevent them from mining haphazardly. But as we speak, the community mining scheme has been turned into a tool largely to perpetrate the same crime that we are trying to fight. When you go to the Desiree Forest Reserve in the Ashanti region, recently where the shooting occurred, you realize that conflict between which part constitutes community mining and which part does not. Who really owns the community mine? Because you go into the community and they will tell you, the chiefs, assembly members, opinion leaders will tell you, we are not aware. We are not part of this. And when you dig deep, you realize it belongs to key people who have concessions and want to mine in a community. So when you go to Atronsu, for example, these are two companies who are trying to mine the environment there. And the people within the community have no idea of it. They say, no, we don't want it. When you go to Akun in Takwa, where they claim this is a community mine, it's an old shaft converted into community mine. It's cracking people's homes. Recently, people died when they blasted under people's homes in that area. So it's shrouded in a lot of, hidden conspiracies and ownership and all that. But if we were to be able to fine-tune it, to make sure that the Minerals Commission is doing their job, checking who does what, in what community mining and how it is regulated, I think it could have been a very fantastic concept.
Thank you, Erastus. Evans, I'll take your final words. What can we expect later today?
So you can expect a very comprehensive conversation, but one that is designed to offer the solutions, but also lay a path that allows us to follow up once the solutions have been couched and submitted to the authorities, so we can collectively supervise the implementation of this. I mean, and everybody else has a stake in this, and that's why the invitation is an open one for tonight at 4 p.m. at the Labadi Beach Hotel at the Omani Hall. You need to be there, either in person or you are joining us on JoyNews, on Joy 99.7 FM, or across our many digital platforms, also on myjoyonline.com. Because we're going to have Professor Frimpong Boateng, who will be giving us a short presentation on the problem, but also the solution. He's going to offering some suggestions as to how this could be dealt with. I'm looking forward to that. We'll have a screening of the Rasmussen's documentary for people to watch. And then that will serve as a basis for a conversation. The minister then will also come in and give us a status report of where we are. And then we'll get the audiences to join us. Also, we have a sub panel. The EPA is going to be there. The Minerals Commission is also going to be there. We're going to have the Chamber of Mines. You're going to have a host of civil society groups. But I'm also looking forward to the traditional authorities. We're going to have the National House of Chiefs represented. And that for me is important because they are in the communities and they hold a very significant stake in finding a solution to this. They're also going to be participating. The researchers will be there. Civil society, as I've already said, will be there to try and collectively explore these radical solutions to this national crisis. And so it is 4 p.m. and we encourage everybody to join. If you can get there, please do so. And we're starting exactly at 4. We are going to do this up until 7 p.m. Later tonight. And I must repeat, WaterAid Ghana and the Chamber of Mines Ghana, the Ghana Chamber of Mines have been very, very good in terms of partnering us for that. We cannot do this without them, and they have made it possible, making sure that we have the resources to make this happen, but also lending us their expertise in this area. And so we're very grateful to them, and because of them, we can have this conversation tonight and do the proper follow-ups to get these suggestions that will come up tonight implemented.
Erastus Evans, thank you so much for joining the conversation and, of course, just holding it down later today at that dialogue. It is our national dialogue on illegal mining. We've titled it Poison for Gold, and you all know the circumstances. It's happening today at 4 p.m. at the Omanya Hall at the Labadi Beach Hotel. It's a hybrid event. You can be there in person if you mean to, but it will also be live on your television as well. It's one you don't want to miss. We need to move this conversation forward. But then again, when we return after the short break we're about to take, we'll be telling you about the 4th Ghana Giving Summit. It's a national conference on philanthropy, which is set to ignite change and activate radical local philanthropy towards the fulfillment of the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. But how is it going to be done? How do we get there? That conversation up next on the AM Show.